press start record. There we go. All right. So as I was saying, there is a fabulous, what do you call this? This threw me off. Swatch Journal. And so there's different surfaces. So we've got the cardboard, which you could make corrugated. We have the canvas sheet. And I love how they all have the grommets, and because this comes with a ring, which is awesome. So you have the chipboard piece, which is really thick chipboard, by the way. You have the awesome black velvet, which is so pretty. And then you have that beautiful embossed paper. It's an embossed floral. You have the herringbone resist. I don't know if you can see that. See that resist? Oh no, don't tell me you lost me again. And you have the watercolor paper, and then the, what is this, like a corrugated cardboard, I guess. All right, so so there's that. That's the little book. It comes with a brush, I can't even speak, brush, and it comes with a fabulous mini mister thing, and it comes with one of these fabulous drip dropper. That's what it's called. Okay, I love that name, drip dropper. And it comes with a gorgeous stamp. It's a nice little foam stamp, as well as this is actually a stencil, so this actually pops out. Okay, so you can actually use the positive or the negative of it, and it's a cute little bird. Okay, so here's the wings. So I don't want to lose these little wings because I think you can make some really cool three-dimensional projects with this. Okay, so isn't that cute? All right, so I don't want to lose those, and I'll put that right in my box. Okay. And so as I was saying, this book has pretty awesome steps. And if you are a French speaker, it does come in French, even though you can't read it from where you are right now. But it says, you know, how to use them dry, how to blend them, how to do edging, how to use them wet. So it has a full explanation on how to use them wet. It shows you how to stamp with them. So I'll be doing a whole bunch of these techniques and more, right? So the book is pretty awesome. And then it kind of has, it almost shows you little projects, like little tips to follow on how to achieve certain effects, which is pretty fun. I'll be doing a whole bunch of these tonight. And look, it's got, what I love about this book is that at the end, it kind of shows you all different projects that you can kind of create with it, right? So really, really fun. And then here is a full step-by-step on how to create one particular page for sure. Okay. And then it kind of gives you some for the other ones as well. Lots of fabulous tips and techniques. So this is a total must-have kit, like must-have. I absolutely love it. So this one will go back to the person that that will get the kit in the end. So for those of you that just joined us, if you go to my blog, and the ladies can post the link, and you can go ahead and tell us why you like gelatos, and we can go ahead and I'll pick a winner in 24 hours. Okay. Are we having Ustream issues again? Okay, are we good? All right. I'd also love it if you guys can go like the Faber-Castell Design Memory Craft has an awesome Facebook page. So don't forget to go and like their page. And by all means, tell them I sent you, okay? So go do that. So I'm going to put this aside and let's start creating, baby. What do you guys say? All right, let's do it. Let's get this party started already. Enough talking. That was way too much talking for one day. With Ustream being so annoying. All right. So I'm hoping to get through this entire book. So we're going to go pretty quick here, all right? So try to not ask any questions, okay? I'm just kidding. Just kidding. You can ask as much as you want. All right. So I'm going to start with the first page. And the first page, I'm actually going to use, what am I going to use? I'm going to use the watercolor paper. I just decided, okay? And these, I don't know how big these are because I lost my Tim Holtz scissors somewhere. So they're big enough. That's how big they are, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start by using it dry. And I'm going to show you kind of the differences. And the two colors that I'm going to use first are actually these three. I'm going to start by using these, okay? And I'm kind of going to create a little bit of a teal. And so I'm going to start with this blue one right here, okay? And you can go, let me see if I can move this camera just a little bit. Okay. Can everybody see okay? Am I too far away? I'm good, right? So you can do it really light, just like this, right? Can you see the differences between the two? Or you can go really, really dark, right? And if you go really dark, it's a little bit easier to blend. You see how this is my dry finger and I'm literally blending. And you see how beautiful it covers? When you do it a little bit light, the blending is fine, but I tend to see a little bit more um, of the texture of the paper, which is kind of not what I'm going for. So I'm going a little bit harder on my page, okay? And I'm going ahead and blending. So I'm doing that. Usually I leave my blending to the end, so I'm actually going to do that. I'm just going to go nice and hard on here, okay? Just like so. And then I'm going to take my green, okay? And I'm kind of going to go over the blue a little bit on the same thing. And this color in particular is, does it say it on the top? I can't remember what it says. It's in your kit. And it's not in front of me right now. Okay, and I'm not worried about kind of going over the page, okay? Just like so. You can go a little bit darker. This is watercolor paper, by the way, you guys. So just wait. Alda, did you learn anything from the class? Are they already giving you a hard time, sweetie? That is so funny. All right, and the next color that I'm going to use is the yellow. And I'm okay if, what's so great about these is that you don't actually have to worry about them contaminating because you can just go off the page and they're clean. So if I get a little bit of green on there, I don't care. I'm actually totally okay with that. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Just like so. All right. Fabuloso. Fabuloso. Now what I'm going to do is when you blend, you really want to make sure that you're not using the same finger to blend each color, unless you want contamination, okay? So if you're going to blend the blue first, blend it with, you know, your blue finger. Don't blend it with your green finger. Since I haven't blended any of the other colors, I can go ahead and use any finger I want. Lucky me. And I'm just going to add a little bit more right here. I know it's hard for you to see, but there is a lot of, these are so silky, you guys. It's like working with silk. They're just so fabulous. And I do want quite a bit of blending right here, actually. So I'm using that same blue finger because I actually want that variation of color to occur, okay? Otherwise, I wouldn't. Okay, so I kind of want them to blend into each other. And then I'm just going to go ahead and add a little bit more. I'm going a little bit hard on this, and I'm okay with that, okay? And then with my other finger, I'm just blending the green, and I'm going over the yellow as well because I want that variation of color to occur there as well, okay? Just like so. This is watercolor paper, so you're going to see, I'm going to add a little bit of water, and it's going to change it up just a little bit. I'm not going to go crazy on the water. See, look at, I have green on my fingers, so the yellow is kind of getting a green hue. That's right, you guys, embrace your inner color, okay? All right. And I don't mind that I got a little bit of green because you guys know this is mixed media, right? So now what I'm going to do, what's so fabulous about this kit, if you don't have a mister, you get one in the kit. So no need to go buy a mister, okay? And I just added a little bit of water. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and actually, hang on, let me prep it. There we go. And I'm going to add just a little bit of water. And then actually with my finger, you can do this with a paper towel. I'm going to blend it even more. Okay. And then I have a little towel beside me. And I'm just going to blend just a little bit more. So wonderful, so yummy and silky. And because these are water soluble, they can act like a pastel or a watercolor. which is so, so unique and wonderful about this product. And I just love them. And you guys know I use gelatos all the time. They're like one of my favorite things to use. Okay, and I'm just blending away. All right, and so the next thing that I want to do, I actually want to add just a little bit more water. Oops. And I actually want to create a little bit of drippage. Because this is watercolor paper, it'll take it on really beautifully. And I'm kind of creating those really cool drippage marks. That's kind of what I want, okay? Allowing it to drip. Just like so. Oh, so beautiful. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my heat gun because I want it to kind of sit just like that. Any questions so far? Do we have any questions? I'm just drying it. They are super different. You need to take a class in drip. Oh my gosh, you're hilarious. I know, right? Isn't that gorgeous? And that it doesn't like blend with each other is so gorgeous. You can go to my blog and the girls will do that for you. Yay, thank you for coming. Okay, we're almost done drying. You guys know I burned my Ranger heat gun the other day on the show. That was pretty comical. Not quite dry. Let me give it one last zap. I'm sorry, you guys. This is the watercolor, okay? So I want to show you something that's really cool that you can do, okay? And so when you're creating this, because this is kind of a swatch journal, what I would do is in the back of each of your swatch journals, I would actually go ahead. I started the step one, right? So like literally write it down. So step one, what I did is I just want to put dry blended, okay? So that I know that I didn't use any water to blend them first. And then step two, I added water and blended. Okay. And so every step that you do, go ahead and write it down because this will be a fabulous journal for you to keep to say, oh, how did I do that? How do I apply that to another, page or project that I'm doing, right? So I just wanted to show you that because for things like this, that's kind of what I do. And that's how I kind of remember my techniques. All right. So that's that. And then the next thing that I want to do is I actually want to take a screen. So I'm just going to take any old screen. I'm just going to grab one. And I have one of the new Prima screens. So I'm going to use it. Actually, I'm not going to use this one. I'm going to use a different one. I'm going to use this one because it's one of my favorites and I haven't used it yet. Look how gorgeous this is. 960537. It's a little Prima plug that I just did. Sorry. It's the new Finnabar stencils. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take a baby wipe. Okay. And so I'm just going to create, almost remove some of that color away. Okay, with a little bit of my baby wipe, just like so. just in places here and there, okay? You don't have to press too hard. The beautiful thing about watercolor is that it really takes the wetness really, really well, whereas if you were to use like cardstock or something, it'd probably fall apart on you. Okay, so, and these baby wipes smell quite lovely. I didn't realize I got scented ones. And watch, if you're going to use it on the switch sides if you're going to change colors, okay? Sometimes you'll get advertising, you can pay to not get advertising, you guys. I pay to not get advertising, but I think it's like, I don't know, $4, $5. It's like super cheap, $9, something like that. Anyway, it's super cheap, whatever it is. It's not very expensive. And especially if you are a regular Ustream watcher, it's probably a good little investment for you. Okay. So there's that. What do you guys think so far? All right. I just want to show you the cool little effect that is achieved, right? Like how gorgeous is that? And I'm just going to give it a quick dry so that, because it's a little bit wet. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this fabulous stamp, and instead of, I was going to stamp with the gelatos, but actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Faber-Castell big brush pen, and I'm going to stamp with it, okay? And I love using this. I'm not sure it works in the foam stamp. I think it does. I haven't tried it, so this will be mine and your experiment tonight, okay? So I'm hoping that it works. I think I just have to really soak it up. But you can also stamp with gelatos, which we will do in a different page, okay? We may not get through the entire kit, but at least several pages for sure. Depends how much you want to put up with me tonight. All right. And all I'm creating right now, this is totally mixed media, so I just want to do very random stamping, okay? Ooh, I love that. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Totally works. Love it. And just so you know, this is India ink, so it is permanent and fabulous. Permanent and absolutely fabulous. I think I use this more than I use like any StazOn ink pad or anything like that. It is just so fabulous. I absolutely love it. I know. Can't wait for you guys to get your kits. And the kits will be available through Thursday. Okay, so Thursday morning I will be placing the order. So if you want one, you better hurry and get yourself one. Look at that. Gorgeous, right? You know, everything takes practice, and I know a lot of you sometimes can get a little bit intimidated by mixed media, and you're like, oh, Limor, you've been doing it for so long. Yeah, but you know what? I've been doing it for so long, but also because I've been trying, right? And you just don't want to be intimidated to use these products. You know, they're actually extremely forgiving. And so that actually makes it really easy. You don't have to worry about being perfect because it is mixed media. So that makes it kind of easy. Isn't that cute? I love this. Gorgeous, right? And I just give it for no reason. I just give it a quick zap. Okay? So very, very quick zap. Just like that. Fabulous. And now what I want to do, I want to glaze it. And the reason I want to glaze it or put a gel medium over it is I'm actually going to put a gel medium over it because I don't want it to run for the next step that I'm going to do. So I'm going to take some gel medium, and of course Faber-Castell Design Memory Craft does carry the gel medium, and I love it, and this is brand new. So I'm just going to open it up and use it up. It is so simply fabuloso. If I can actually open it with my awesome nails that you guys say you love. They're not so awesome all the time. Okay. So you know what? I don't like to waste. So I'm actually going to use what's on that lid. How does that sound? Talk about being frugal, huh? Yep, that's me. And it does have a brush, but because this is quite a big surface that I'm using, that I'm actually going to be doing, so I'm just going to grab a bigger brush from my stash. Okay, and so I'm just going to go ahead and give it a nice quick layer of gel medium, okay, so that it seals it right in. And you could use a spray sealer as well, but this actually works just fine. I use it all the time. And it doesn't seem to really bother the gelatos too much, even though they're water soluble, so I kind of like that. It really, really helps. You know what I mean? And this gel medium, you guys, is so yummy. You know how sometimes you get gel mediums that are just so not yummy, right? And they bubble and they just kind of don't do the right thing. This is just so yumminess. So one of my faves. All right. Yeah, sealant or glue. All right, look at that gorgeousness, right? And it dries clear, so it is a little bit milky at first, but it dries clear, which is pretty fabulous. Any questions, you guys? I know there's lots of viewers on tonight. So, so awesome. And you guys can see my brush is still super clean, which means the gelato is really nicely set in there now. Okay, so there's that. Like that. I'm going to close this up, just like so. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my dropper. Do you guys remember I used this dropper? I'm going to let this sit for just a minute off to the side. I'm actually going to add, and I think you guys have seen me do this before. Oh no, not to the dropper, never mind. Sorry, to this guy. What am I doing? To this dropper that comes in your kit. What I'm going to do is I am going to open this gesso up. And of course, Faber-Castell Design Memory Craft does have gesso as well. So we're going to use that. And it is a fluid gesso, fairly fluid. It's in the fluid gesso category. It's not a super heavy gesso like sometimes I use. And it's such yummy gesso too. And it's so yummy, I like to get it all over my hands. Oh, what's your question? Are you guys making fun of me now? Awesome. All right. Now I'm going to take one of these guys. Okay. And I'm just going to add a little bit in here. Okay. Just like so. Just like so. Look at the mess I'm making, and I love it. Like, the messier for me, you guys know, the better. Like, how yummy is that? Oh, I love gesso. Do you guys have an addiction to gesso as much as I do? I don't know. It's kind of nutty, isn't it? I'm okay with it, though. I've become one with it. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add just a little bit of water in here. Just a little bit. Not like, I mean, I have so much gesso in there that really. And then I'm just going to stir this puppy up. All right, stir it up, stir it up, stir it up. How you doing, Jenny? Hopefully I'm doing justice to your kit, okay? I'm hoping. I'm hoping that I'm doing justice. I'm not killing it. And I'm just going to stick the dropper in for a second and clean my table for just a moment and clean this up for just a moment. Put this off to the side. Let's give this a quick zap to make sure that there's no stickiness. Yes, this one is matte, I believe. Yeah, it is, because it's drying matte. And then we have more of like a glaze, okay? So it's a little bit shinier. All right, almost dry there. Yeah, this one is definitely matte. All right, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my dropper, okay, and watch, because this really tips over. That's okay, I got some on there. So I don't know, you're gonna have to stand it up somewhere, all right? Actually, it stands up in your kit perfectly. And right from the top, I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit of drippage. It is a dropper, so it's really easy to work with. All right, you'll get it all over your hands, you'll get it all over your table. Who cares? So much fun. Okay, you can make drip marks bigger in other places. Look at that. Ooh, look at that. Do you not just love drippage? I don't know, kind of addicting. Fabulous. And then you can make, you know, one drippage on one side bigger than the other, which always makes a more interesting look. Almost like covering the whole thing. You know what I mean? For interest. Gorgeous, right? And so you can go ahead. I'm not going to embellish this entire page, otherwise we'll never get time to do the rest of the pages, and I really want to show you how the gelatos work on different surfaces. So I'm not going to go crazy on the projects tonight. This is more showing you how the kit works, right? And look at those bubbles. How fun is that? Too bad they, oh look, I wonder if I heat set them, they'll actually stay like that. That would be so awesome. Yes, this is gesso and water together. That's what I did. Did you miss that? I'm sorry, Janet. I'm just showing how to do different techniques. You don't have to like it, but you know what? With something really cool on the front, what I'm going to do is after the show, I'll actually create actual designs with the finished bases of the album, so you can see a full finished mini album. But I want to show you techniques. That's what tonight is all about. Okay. Look, and you can create really cool crackle effect with putting your heat gun right on the gesso. I don't know if you can see that, but it's really, really cool. Anyhow. So I'm going to put this aside and let this dry. But that's pretty much it for this watercolor paper. Okay, and you can do so many other things with the watercolor paper, but that's one. And then you can go ahead and put it on your ring. So I'm going to let this one sit aside and dry while we create the next page. How does that sound? Now, the next one that I want to work with, I want to show you this really cool one, because this is that black velvet, which I think is really, really fun, but it can intimidate some people. And I'm going to use the same screen just for fun because I think it's easy. And so what I like to do is there's a couple different things that you can do. So the first thing is you can take your white gelato and you can literally go right into the screen and create some really cool stencil effects. Okay, so just like that, right? And like I said, I'm not going to create a full design tonight. I really just want to show you the fabulous kit techniques, okay? I just don't have time to create a full mini album in 1 hour and 15 minutes, okay? But look at that. You'll see in just a moment, as soon as I left, and you can apply the, yeah, for sure. I just want to show you what's in the kit. But look at that. I just want to show you how cool this is. Can you guys see that? It's so, so neat. And the other thing that you can do, so let's say you want a little bit of a different effect, right? So let's say we want, I don't know, a little bit of pink, maybe a little bit of hot pink, right? What you can also do, another little technique, is you can literally apply your gesso right here, okay, on your mat. And you can add just, you can spritz just a little bit of water, okay? And you can grab your brush, which is why they gave you a brush, and you can actually apply it right here. It will be lighter, just an FYI. So you might need to apply a little bit more than the pink. Okay, so it's not going to be as vibrant as if you were to take the pink and did it like this. Okay, that's the only thing. So you'll see the difference between the two, and I just want to show you the difference. So it just depends on the look that you want. I want you to see the two different dots. Okay, so those are the kind of cool things that you can do with this is felt. I mean, you can create some crazy stuff on here, and you can gesso it up, and you know, you could even, what's really cool is you could even like rub this up, right, and like just really create some like really cool halos on here. Okay, if you really don't want, you know, the circle, the diamondy effect. I mean, how cool is this? I love that. Rub them up. Okay. And they're so absolutely silky on here, on the velvet, that they just take on so beautifully. Look at that. I mean, I just think that is absolutely gorgeous. You can just start creating your background so beautifully on here. Yeah, the halo effect is just so gorgeous, right? So the velvet, so much fun to play with. Like I said, if you put the water, it's going to be much less. If you do it directly, it's going to be quite vibrant. Now, the other thing that you could do is you could go ahead. I'm just going to grab this screen for a second. Like here's another new Prima Screen, FYI, if you haven't seen it before. Look at that, how gorgeous it is. You could take, let's say a butterfly screen, okay, and you can grab some gesso, all right, and you can take your paintbrush, because it's on black. Let me clean my paintbrush because it's pink at the moment. Okay, and dry it up. I don't want to dirty up my gesso. You can actually go ahead, just make sure it's really, really down, and you could paint your, you can paint your velvet with some gesso if you wanted to. The gesso is not in the kit, but it's just another option for you. Okay, so I just wanted to give you another option of how to use the velvet. Okay. And the drier the brush is, the better. My brush was a little bit wet, so try to use a dry brush whenever possible, and really hold down your screen, otherwise it's going to bleed through the screen. And what's really cool is that if you add gesso, I'm going to show you what you can do in just a moment. I'm going to add some gelatos to this as well, to this gessoed little butterfly. Are you guys learning something? I hope so. It's technique day on the Limor show, okay? So the butterfly's not perfect, but pretty darn close. See that? Gorgeous, right? And so what I want to do is I'm going to give it a quick dry, just a very quick one. And I know you guys can't see this, but the texture on this is ridiculously awesome. And watch when you're drying this, because it lets off a pretty nasty smell. So just wash, because it does have a little bit of, you know, plastic or something like that. All right, good. As long as you're learning something, I'm happy. Okay. So what I want to do next is, you know, you can totally color this puppy up. So you could take, let's say, your red, and you could either like do it right over to the top, right? Or you could just take it on your mat, right? Just like so. And let's grab another brush just to have another one on hand. It's a little bit easier. Sometimes it's better to work with two brushes. And you want to take a little bit of water, which I have my mini mister right here, and I'm just going to mist. And then you can go ahead and now, because it's got gesso, you can go ahead and, because it's a surface prep, you can now go ahead and actually paint your butterfly. And it has tooth, whereas if you were to paint just like this, it kind of soaks in to the fibers, right? But because gesso is a surface prep, it'll allow you to paint over the top. And make sure your gesso is dry, because right now my gesso is not. Just saying. Okay. Just like that. So did you guys understand that technique, right? So you apply the gesso, you make sure it's really nice and dry, and then you can go ahead and paint right over your surface. And your color will be fairly true color. Depends on how much gesso you applied. Okay, at least a pretty close of a true color. And I know the camera doesn't fully show it, the colors properly, which is too bad, but that's kind of the way that Ustream works sometimes. Okay, and I just need a little bit more water. There we go. It's drying up on me a little bit. How fun is this, you guys? Right? Super duper. Look at that. Right? So, oh, who doesn't know what? All right, perfect. So that's that. Okay, so that's another surface for you. And the next surface that we're going to grab is this one right here. And what I love about this one, let me just close my gesso so it doesn't dry up on me. This one I love because it's got the fabulous resist. So there's a couple things that you can do with this, and I just want to show you. So because this is a Gelatos kit, I'll only use the Gelatos bit. You can take, let's use a different color that I have not used yet. Let's use this really fabulous gold one. So with the resist, you can certainly go ahead and do it dry. And as soon as you do it dry, you can see, I mean, it blends absolutely beautifully, especially with the resist. You can actually create some pretty cool, what do you call it? Shadow effect. Okay, but you can actually also go ahead and apply it just like this and take your brush. So take a water brush or any other brush that's in your kit, right? I'm just going to grab another one of our Faber-Castell brushes. Grab some water, mist it, okay, and you can really move it around and paint with it, okay? So you don't necessarily have to use your finger, especially if you're one that really doesn't like to get your fingers dirty, then this is a really fabulous option for you because you can just go ahead, apply your gelato, apply some water, and create a really beautiful variation of color, okay? Just like so. And I'm just going to apply a little bit more mist and move that color around. Isn't that gorgeous? And you guys can't see that beautiful shine, but it is stunning. It's got this beautiful shiny, sheeny, it's like rub and buff. That's how gorgeous it is. Okay. And I'll lift it up so you guys can see a little bit better. Can you see that? Yeah. And so to create some, you know, another variation of color, you can go ahead and take, let's say, your orange, right? And you can blend those two together. So you don't even need to apply that much. You can even do darker down here and then lighter on the top. So I can go ahead and apply my water, get everything really wet, clean this up just a little bit, and then move the color around. And I don't have to get my fingers dirty. And then blend into the gold. Okay. Or if you're a finger person, go ahead and blend it with your finger. And it creates a really cool, you can go over the other color and it really just gets these colors moving. I just love it. And of course you can make, you know, this even darker by almost putting a red right here and making it even darker. And look at how gorgeous this turns out. Whoops. Look at that. Isn't that stunning? I absolutely love it. I don't know. I just can't get enough of the gelatos because they, you know, every time you use them, you just get so many different fabulous effects. So play away. So that's the resist paper. And I know, you know, like there's so many companies that have resist canvas. Oh, look at it. I kind of smudged it. So let's put some water on there. There's so many companies that do have resist canvases like Prima or, you know, so many other companies, right? So this is a really fabulous technique to use with all the resist stuff that you see out there. And so to really pop out the white, what I like to do is I like to take a towel, or you can take a baby wipe, either one, and just give it a really nice buff. And what you'll see is that that image, that white resist, really, really pops. Can you guys see that? I think it's just so gorgeous. And so now you have, now you really have a fabulous background to create on. All right? Did you learn something about that? So that's surface number, what is that, number 3, right? What time are we at? 7:54? Okay, I better hurry up. Then the next thing that I have is corrugated cardboard. So, and there's so many. Oh my goodness. I mean, I don't know which one to use. All right, so let's do, actually, let's do this one. This one's really, really fun. So this is corrugated, but not, right? So this is kind of corrugated, right? But this one, what you can do is really, really fun, because I actually like, because it's got corrugated on the bottom, or on, yeah, on the inside, I actually like to rip some of it off to create a little bit of dimension and texture. And you'll see the difference of the gelatos, how they take on the 2 different surfaces together, right? So just like that. And I'm just kind of ripping for fun. Talk about mixed media, huh? This is why you get nails, FYI. Take your scissors and just dig in there and get some of that, peel some of that off. Okay, you don't need to do the whole thing, but just some of it. All right. Just want to get a little bit more on the top right here. Just like that. Oh, thank you for answering on the social stream. You guys are rocking. Rocking. All right. I think I put a hole through this, but that's okay. Fabulous, right? So what you want to do next, this is just one technique. You can do 100 different techniques with this. What you can do is I'm going to apply my gesso right over the top. And so I'm going to take my gesso brush, which let's say it's this one. Okay, I'm just going to clean this up. Actually, let's use this guy because it's really easy. And apply gesso right over the top. You guys have seen me use, this is a shaper, and I like to use it because I don't have to worry about cleaning it too much. But look at the way the gesso, right, reacts on the 2 different surfaces, right? It's really, really fun. And you can just leave some of this a little bit exposed, because you'll see how the gelatos will kind of take on. Okay, just like that. Fabulous. All right, so I'm just going to dip this in water. I'm going to give this a quick heat set, and I'm going to show you another technique with the gelatos. So let's give this a very quick heat set. Any questions so far? Okay. The next thing that I'm going to do, this is fairly dry, and if it's not, I'm just going to go ahead and rub some of it because it's fun that way. Just going to give it one last zap. It's a little bit harder when you're trying to go fast. What did Ranger say about heat tool? Nothing. I haven't gotten any response back. But I'm sure they're awesome. You know what embossing powders I use is Lindy Stamping embossing powders. I love them. Not that I'm biased or anything. All right, so the next thing that I'd like to do is, as you guys know, in your kit, there's a dropper, and I happen to have another one, so that's what I'm using. But if you use the first technique, which was the gesso and water, go ahead and clean it, and then you can do this next technique. I just happen to have another one right here, so that's what I'm going to use. And so, so there's a couple things that you can do, and I'll do several different techniques for you. But one of the techniques that you can do is, I actually like to put some water in here. Oh, and I ran out of water. Here, I'll use some from the mini mister. I'll apply some water on here, just like that. Okay. Woo! I've got a flying little thing, and I'm just going to leave that water in there to sit just for a moment. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my, let's do this pink one, which is really, really awesome. And what I like to do is I like to take, where did it go? Oh, here. It was standing like literally right in front of me, and I moved it, which was the tool. Oh, here it is, the spatula. Okay. And I actually like to cut some of this off, just like that. Look how easy that is, right? And I actually like to splatter it a little bit. I like to get it nice and mushy. I really do. Mush it up a little bit, okay? And once it's a little bit mushed up, I actually can go ahead in here and I add it to the water, okay? And I kind of have my own little gelatos concoction. And I can just go ahead with a knife or the end of a brush and just blend this up. Okay, just like so. Oh yeah, you gotta try the Lindy's embossing powders, they're awesome. Okay, so now you have this really cool concoction, and you can make it as thick or as thin as you want. Just make sure that these fibers are really nice and blended. Okay, and so you can add as little or as much water as you want, and you notice how it did not damage my gelatos whatsoever, which is really great. You guys need this tool right here. It's just so awesome. And then you can go ahead and take your dropper, right? And I'm just going to stand this up so that it doesn't fall all over. And you can go ahead and create some really fabulous drippage marks with your gelatos. Okay. Just like so. Is this not awesome? So, so yummy. Now you ask, can I make my own sprays? Absolutely. So you can take that exact same technique, and I'll show it to you on a different page, and you can literally create your own sprays. And we'll be using the screen for that, which I'll show you. We'll do that on another page. But for this, you can just go ahead and do a lot of fabulous drippage. Okay, just like that. So that's another way to use your gelatos and your dropper and create some pretty fabulous backgrounds. All right, look at all this drippage effect. I'm a drippage girl, right? So there's that. All right, so that's one technique. Now, let's give this a quick heat set, and I want to show you the difference of how the gelatos react on and off gesso, okay? Okay, so there's that, right? But you know, the other thing you could do some like really funky splatter marks, by the way, which I forgot to show you. Like you can seriously like splatter, right? And with a different color and really create some really funky, cool. You can take even your straw, right, and just blow on this and have it splatter. Right now I'm just doing it by blowing, right, and create those really cool as I faint from trying to blow my right, really, really funky, right? And that's all by kind of taking those gelatos and cutting them up, right, and putting them in your dropper. So it can create some pretty cool backgrounds. And so again, what you want to do is you want to go ahead and always flip your thing in the back and write down what you've done. All right. So that's another technique. So I'm just going to put this aside. I just want to show you a whole bunch of different surfaces and techniques that you can do, right? For those of you that are kind of behind. Now, the next technique that I want to do on cardboard, and I want to show you the difference between a prepped and unprepped surface of your gelatos. So if you were to take some gesso, and I'm going to do both, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take gesso and I'm just going to apply it on only a certain part of my surface, which is the cardboard surface. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to take it, and I'm only almost going to do it right in the middle here, okay? I'm going to prep my surface with gesso, just like this. All right. Prep it really nicely so that I can dry it, and I'll show you the difference between the two. Okay. You won't apply too much. You can do this with a brush. I'm not. I kind of want a little bit of texture, which is actually why I'm doing it this way. Okay, but you could certainly use this guy as well, right? Like you could just take it and create some really cool smoothing lines. Have a little bit of pink on there, which is fine. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and dry this. It's not thick, it's actually really fluid. I'm just using a lot of it. It's very fluid gesso. We only have like 3 more pages to show you on how they react, the gelatos react, okay? What did you use on the last bird? Oh, the pencils. How do they work? Meaning, do they work well? They work amazingly well with the aquarelle pencils. I don't have them right in front of me though, so I can't really do a demo right now on them, but something for next time for sure. So I'm drying this up because I want to show you the difference between using gelatos on a prepped surface and an unprepped surface. Because this kit was really, I'm going to say it was really intended for somewhat beginners, right, Jen? You know, it's really great. This is really not dry. I put way too much on. Oh, cool. All right, here we go. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take any color gelato. It doesn't really matter. I want to use a color I haven't used, but I think I've pretty much used all the colors, have I not? Probably. So, yeah, I think I have. So let's take this pink. Let's take blue because it'll stand out in the camera really well. So here it's the blue, right? And I just want you to notice how it only blends up to a certain point. And then after that, it kind of stops moving. Do you guys see that? It just kind of stops moving, right, when it's dry. Whereas if I were to apply it to a gessoed surface, I want to show you, look at how much blending, my fingers are so dirty, so if it turns out yellow or green, that's why. But look how much blending I can actually create on a gessoed surface. I can't get that blending when I do it on an unprepped surface like this. Does that make sense? Because this is so porous, it'll suck some of that stuff in. If this is the look you're going for, that's fine. But if you really want it to blend really well with the dry, like the vibrancy of the dry gelatos, then you might want to prep your surface with gesso or at least gel medium, or any prep surface should work, okay? But you can get a whole lot more blending if you prep your surface. Does that make sense? Is gesso used for any type of embossed effect? I'm sure you could. So anyway, do you see the difference? And so let me show you again, right? I can do this here, but I can only pull it so far, and it'll only blend so far because the rest of it got sucked into the fibers. Now, you can take your brush, right, as I had earlier. So I'm running out of water, so I need to get some more water from the sink. You can, however, grab some water, this is dirty water, and pull it a little bit, okay? This is chipboard, so it'll soak a little bit of the water, and what you'll find is that it'll kind of lose its vibrancy. Whereas if you took some water on here, it'll just keep blending. So I tend to really love to prep my surfaces before I play with gelatos, if I have a very porous surface like this, so that I can get maximum blending and movement. Okay, so that would be my recommendation, but it really goes with whatever effect that you want. Did that make sense? Uh-oh. Right? It's pretty awesome how it blends on the gesso. So it's just two totally different effects. So I wanted to show you that for the gelatos. Now, what you can do with the, here's the screen that I'll show you. I mean, we did screen already using a different screen, right? But you can then go ahead on here, right? And you can even add another color over the top. So you can actually go ahead and paint it right over the top and even blend with your finger, right? I want to show you something in just a second. You can take that and create really cool color variations, and I'll show you also how to stamp with the gelatos. You can take a little bit of that yellow and almost blend into the red. And because the surface is prepped, it takes on that, you can really blend those two colors together really, really beautifully. Whereas if the surface was unprepped, you probably wouldn't be able to do this technique that I'm doing right now. Okay. And I love to use my fingers. And then you lift and you have that gorgeous little birdie. Is he not gorgeous? Right? So that's why I prep my surfaces. And on here, you just won't get that same effect. You'll see that the gelato almost loses its real color. So it is yellow, but it's not as yellow, right? So it is pretty, right? But this blends so much nicer. So that's why I like to do that, okay? So there's surface number, I don't know, 4, 5, surface number 5, all right? Which you can play with. And of course you can do 100 other techniques with it. Okay, so the next one that I want to use, and there's two sides to this, and I kind of want to use the side that's bumpy. So there's one of the sides that's kind of embossed that's not, it's hard to see, huh? I don't know if you can actually, can you see that? Okay, I kind of want to use the side that's that has a raised edge, so I'm almost going to flip it around, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to apply some gelatos, and this is for any embossed surfaces that you want to use. And let's say I'm going to apply, let's do, I don't know, light pink for fun, okay? Let's do the light pink for fun. And I'm just kind of going all over, okay? All over. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take my water brush, and I'm going to grab a little bit more water, you guys. Give me a second. We're almost done. After this, we only have a couple more surfaces. I may not even get to finish up. It's already 8:13. And I can go ahead and give this a quick mist to be able to blend the colors. Ooh, I have some blue on there. Okay. All right. And then, oh my goodness, I have some, oh, that's okay, actually. I don't mind dirty fingers. It actually looks really good. Okay, sorry, I'm off camera a little bit. Just like so. And then I'm just going to apply a little bit more of my pink. I think this is the pink I used. And I just really want to get it in there. And I don't know if you can see, but as soon as I apply the gelato, it's picking up all those raised edges. Can you guys see that? It picks up the raised edges. And so then what I can do is I can just blend, 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 so that the pink is really the color that is in there, right? So I'm just blending with my finger, which you can do with a brush, whichever way you like. And I'm going to give this a quick heat set, actually. Just a very quick heat set. And you guys know what rub and buff is, right? I think you guys all know what rub and buff is. And what's really cool about the gelatos that are in this kit is that you get a couple that have shimmer in them. And this gold one has shimmer in it. And because I used the really raised side, what I can do now is, I want to show you, I'm very lightly going over the top of the flowers. And all of a sudden, my flowers start to pop, and they have a pink, undertone, and over the top is the gold. I just want to show you the ones that are done versus the ones that are not done, just so that you can see two sides. Let me show you as I put it close to the camera. Can you guys see the difference, how all of a sudden they pop? So instead of using rub and buff, you can use the fabulous shimmered gelatos to give you that same effect, right? So really, really cool. So I'm just going to finish that up so you can see the full finished effect. And I love, and you can do this with any, embossing folder, right? So if you have an embossing folder, you can certainly use this technique. And it would work really, really great on like watercolor paper, okay, or mixed media paper, something that will take the water really, really well, okay, just like that. And I just want to show you. I know the camera, look at that, isn't that gorgeous? I just love how this looks. And I know you can't see the shimmer, but it's really in there. Yeah, exactly, like a resist, right? So really, really cool. And as soon as I put it down, it kind of, the camera loses it, but really, really cool. Anyway, so there's that technique that I wanted to show you. So many techniques, it's like endless, and you can keep creating technique after technique after technique, right? All right, so next, what do we got? We got the see, I kind of did the corrugated cardboard because I kind of wanted to go fast, so you can do the exact same technique. But what's really cool with this, if you want to use the gelatos, is kind of that same technique that I just used with the, I'm going to use red so it really pops. What's really cool with this is that you can really get in the grooves in here, right? And this image can really, really pop. And you can get a really, really cool two-tone variation as well. And you don't have to get right inside. You can, but this is really, really cool. Okay, and so you can do this with any corrugated cardboard, right? Like you can't, with paints, you just won't get, this effect because the paints will just start running into the grooves. Whereas with gelatos, they're so silky, they just take on this fabulous effect with the corrugated cardboard, right? So you can do the, let's do green for fun, so it really pops, right? Not that you should use green with orange because it turns into brown. I should know better. Art teachers will kill me. And you can even actually go ahead and do a little bit of blending. If you like brown, then that's okay. But if you don't like brown, don't use them together. Just saying. And look at how cool that effect looks when you start blending. I just want to show you the difference. Look at that, you guys, right? Can you see where I've blended versus where I haven't? So you can create some pretty funky effects with corrugated cardboard, and so many companies right now have corrugated cardboard, but this kit, you get it in the kit, which is so awesome. So you can really practice creating this effect. You know what I mean? Isn't that cool? I know this is definitely going to give your craft visa a workout. Okay, so we have the last bit. Look, I'm working fast, huh? And the last one, I really want to show you how to create your own mist, okay? And how to stamp with gelatos. So I kind of wanted to show you how to stamp with gelatos on actual paper. So I may do that on a different piece of paper. But let's do misting. So in order to create misting is really, really easy. I'm just going to dump some of this water out, just a little bit of it. And so there's a couple different ways of doing it. You can use the this little guy. Okay, I'm just going to clean it out. Maybe we'll do pink again, just so that I don't have to do a whole lot of cleaning. How does that sound to you? Good, good. That's what I thought. Okay, so the same technique pretty much that I used last time. I'm going to go ahead and clean this guy. And you can go ahead and just cut this guy, okay, just like so. And it's up to you whether you crush him up in here in a different container. It doesn't really matter. It's really up to you. You can use this part of the brush, a different part of the brush. I don't care. Just smush it up, okay? The whole point, you really need to smush it up and almost create like a little paste. That's what I like to do with it. And then I can go ahead and add some water, which I dumped some of that water, but I'm going to dump it right back in anyway. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to swirl it up so that it really blends, okay? Thank you. I'm glad you love it. Lots of views tonight, which is awesome. Okay, smush it all up. Okay, here's the question of the day. Are you guys learning something? I know it's not like the most fabulous project on the planet, but I really want you to learn the techniques, right? Because otherwise you have these products and you have no flipping clue how to use them, right? So I just really want you to learn how to use this stuff. Does that make sense? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to dump this right inside. And now what I have is a fabulous mist, okay? And it may be a little chunky, I don't know. And you can for sure create all different variations. You could add yellow to this, like you can do whatever you want, right? And so first what I'm going to do is I can go ahead, why don't we do the little birdie so you guys can see how the birdie turns out. And what I usually like to do before I do that, I like to actually take some tape. I'm just seeing if I have it here. Oh, I took my tape upstairs. So I'm not doing tape. You're going to watch me screw this up. Okay? So I'm going to take this guy. Hold it down. Hang on. There we go. Okay? And left. Look at that. Look at that gorgeous birdie. And you just made your own little mist. Right? Add some Lindy Stamp Gang mica in there and your bird will be shimmery. Right? Isn't that gorgeous? Okay. So we could do that. Right? Or you could actually use it to just mist your entire page, right? But here's another variation with the gelatos. Let's say you really like this color, but you want to make it into more of a watercolor, more of a washed out color. What I love to do is because I have a little bit of gesso here already from the last time, I'm going to add a droplet or two of gesso. And what this is going to do is going to create a different variation of my color. And so I'm going to close this up and I'm going to shake it up and it's going to be a lighter tone of my color. Okay, so I can go ahead now, and I don't know if you can see. Hang on. Might need a little bit more gesso. Hang on. Hang on, my technique's not working. Hang on, hang on. Don't laugh at me. This is too funny. I do this all the time, and of course on camera it's like, okay. All right. There we go. Now I have kind of like a really beautiful chalky yumminess. Do you see that? How cool is that? And that's with one gelato, right? Like seriously, one gelato. So you could create, and then, you know, you can create another one, right? Do you want to create one more color? Let's create one more color because it's just way too much fun. So let me wash this guy out, create one more color, and we're done. Okay, so let's create one more color since I have another mini mister. And I was thinking maybe we could do like a yellow. So we'll take this guy and we'll take our little thing, right? And we'll crush this up, right? Do the same thing and create one more mist. I'm just cleaning my brush here. And I'm okay if I have a little bit of pink left on my brush, just because I really want that variation of color anyway. I kind of like them to mix together, so I'm totally okay with that. You know what I was thinking of doing, you guys, if you guys really love this kit, if you guys are up for it, for those of you that bought the kit, maybe I can do an actual class where we create an actual project. So maybe we'll charge, you know, another $10 to $15, and we can actually create a full project with this kit. If people are up for that, we can do that for sure. That'd be really, really fun. So I'm going to add water to this. Give me a second. Whoa. It's really handy having a sink right beside me. Let me tell you, my friends. All right, and I'm just going to stir this up, even though I'm spilling all over the place, but that's okay. Dump a little bit of this out. Yeah, I could. It's a different effect, though, with the white gelato. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and add this to my mini mister. Just like so. Now I've got a beautiful yellow mist. And I'm going to spray off my page for a minute. There we go. Prep it. And then now apply it to your page. How gorgeous is that? And even on top of your birdie. I'm saturating this page. And I'm washing out my birdie right now because remember, it is water soluble, right? I don't care. That's not really the purpose. I just wanted to show you how it reacts. Isn't that cool? And so you were talking about the white gelatos. Let me show you the difference. And then we'll be done. This is canvas. So this is super saturated right now, but I'm just going to dry a corner of it so that you can see the white gelato with it. It's not quite dry, but with the white gelato, it really actually does whiten it quite a bit, more so than the gesso. Do you see that? I just want to show you. Do you see how much whiter it is? So for sure you can get that variation on your canvas and it'll look flippin' awesome, right? Like look at that. And really blend it in there. But I like the misting because it gives it a little bit of a different effect, right? Look how gorgeous that is, right? I mean, that honestly, that I could do like 100 more techniques. Honest to goodness, there are so many things you can do with the gelatos. I could go on for another couple hours for sure. But you know, there's only so much time in a day, my friends. All right. So here's the deal. Did you learn something today? Yes? Okay, good, very good. So for those of you that missed it, go ahead and you can get the kits on my blog today until you have until Wednesday, not Wednesday night, Thursday morning. And then after that, um, go ahead after the show if you want to win this fabulous kit. If you want to win this fabulous kit, go ahead to my blog. The ladies will post the link and add your comment on yesterday's post about this kit and let us know why you love the gelato so much, and I will pick a winner. Okay. For the kit, Limor, do we place an order now for the gelatos and then after pay extra for the kit? What kit? Oh, I'm so confused now. I do mean for the class. If you want to do a class after, yeah, we'll do a class. I think I'll do a class after, but I'll post that, okay? Let me switch the camera view so you can see me. Let's see. Do you see me right now? Hey. Whew. Okay. Did you have fun? You're going straight downstairs to play with your gelatos? Awesome. That's what I want to see. So yes, you guys head on over to the blog, get your kits. I think I'll do a class creating, you know, an entire, I might, you know what I might do? I might put an extra, like an added kit for it if you guys want, because I'm going to create, or you can use your own stuff, but maybe I'll charge, you know, $10 to $15 and we'll actually create an entire, you know, journal just like this one for those of you that bought the kit, okay? And we'll create a really fabulous mini album with embellishments and all kinds of stuff, okay? Well, welcome if it was your first Ustream. Go ahead and go to the Limor Mixed Media page on Facebook. Go ahead and like the Faber-Castell Design Memory Craft Facebook page. They're fantastic. They always come up with fabulous products. And like I said, what else did I say? For those of you that are watching this after the fact, this will be on YouTube. All my shows are always posted on YouTube, which is really, really great. So I'm going to stop the recording, but talk to you, the rest of you that are left, okay?